And as promised, gang, here is this breaking news for our third and final story for this edition of the Rolling Stone. I am recording this on Friday, September the 18th. With a little luck, this is being put up on Saturday the 19th, so you probably already know that Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away due to complications from pancreatic cancer. Now, I will just say right here, right now, that Justice Ginsburg is not my favorite person in the world. Vox ran a memorial piece on her where it said that she, more than any other Supreme Court justice, read feminism into the Constitution, which was a big old red flag for me. But you know what? This is not the time nor the place to talk about how Ginsburg hurt the country, harmed the country, how she screwed the country over, etc., etc. Never should have been put on the Supreme Court, blah, 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 blah. You know why? Because the woman is dead. And she wasn't just someone who wore a funny-looking robe for her job. She was a wife, she was a mother, she was a grandmother. I think that she was also an aunt. And so because she has died, she has left an unfillable hole in the lives of her family members. Okay, I've mentioned this before. In case you weren't around when I talked about it, here it is again. I've worked in the funeral industry for several years. So I have seen firsthand, time after time after time after time, what death does to families. If you've ever had a death in your family, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So this isn't the time. If we lived in a normal society, this would be the time to say, rest in peace, Justice Ginsburg, send prayers and well wishes to her family, and leave it at that. But of course, we don't live in a normal world, so we can't do that. Now, this video, like I just said, isn't going to be about why I don't like Justice Ginsburg or the things that she got wrong. This video is more of a warning to you guys, gang. If you thought that things were bad, if you thought that things were crazy, then we ain't seen nothing yet, to quote Al Jolson in the 1929 movie, The Jazz Singer. We ain't seen nothing yet. For a couple of reasons. First, the left is going to be enraged that Trump has the very real possibility to actually nominate and get a third person on the Supreme Court in just his first term. Okay? He's already gotten Gorsuch and Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court, and now he has a shot, a really real shot, at a third. Because it was just announced, actually, that Mitch McConnell said that the Senate isn't going to wait. If Trump nominates someone to the Supreme Court, the Senate will look at the nominee, and then they will either confirm the nominee or they will vote him down. They're going to give him a vote. Either way, the Senate will give Trump's nominee a vote. Now, that enrages the left in and of itself, because if you remember in 2016, Mitch McConnell refused to have a vote on Merrick Garland, who was the Supreme Court nominee that President Barack Obama put up. Because McConnell said, no, we're so close to an election that the people should decide who goes on the Supreme Court by voting for president. Now, of course, the very same left, which were enraged that Mitch McConnell, quote-unquote, stole a Supreme Court justice from President Obama, is now saying the exact same thing. In fact, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer actually tweeted that out before he tweeted out his condolences to Justice Ginsburg's family. Now, you could say that this is political grandstanding, that McConnell is now being hypocritical. Again, if we lived in a normal world, in a normal society, yeah, I would say, I would agree with that. But the thing is, we don't, gang. The thing is, we don't. I'm actually very divided on this issue. I'm at war with myself over this, because one part of me is thinking, yeah, we really need a good, solid 6-person majority on the Supreme Court. But the other part of me is saying, but that is completely skewed. That is a completely skewed idea of how this government, our system should function, because the founders and the framers never intended the entire government to run on a 6-person Supreme Court majority. It's completely contradictory to everything that the Constitution stands for everything that they fought for in the Revolution. So, on the one hand, I understand it and I'm for it, but at the other hand, I realize that it also indicts us much better than a lot of other things could. But the left is going to be enraged about this. But even more than that, they're also going to be enraged, before I forget, by the fact that in their minds, Trump is still an illegitimate president. So Gorsuch is illegitimate, Kavanaugh is illegitimate, and whoever Trump nominates again is going to be illegitimate. So you're actually going to have 3 out of 9 Supreme Court justices that the left says are illegitimate. Okay, and hold on to that in your hat here, because we're going to come back to that in just a second. Because the left is not only going to be enraged, the left is going to be fearful. They are going to be scared witless, and they are going to be scared by this: that with a 6-person majority on the court, technically speaking, conservatives will have the votes for the first time in a long time to actually overturn Roe v. Wade. If an abortion case actually comes to the Supreme Court in 2021, and Trump now has his 3rd nominee on the Supreme Court, there is now a 6-person conservative majority on the Supreme Court. Again, in theory, because, Gorsuch kind of helped overturn the legal definition of sex, so you never really can count on these people, in all honesty. But again, hypothetically speaking, there is no way that a pro-abortion side is going to win with a 6-person conservative majority. The same goes for marriage. The same goes for transgenderism. The same holds true for all of the judicial victories that the left has won, and for all the judicial victories that the left wanted to win in the future. It's all on a knife's edge now. That fills them with absolute terror, that everything, so much of what they have worked for in the legal system, is now going to be overturned because Ruth Bader Ginsburg had the audacity to die while Donald Trump was still president. And no joke, gang, there are some people tweeting as I speak and saying F you, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, because if you just hadn't been so selfish, and if you had actually retired when Obama was president, we wouldn't be in this mess. Now, because the left is going to be reacting in anger, in hatred, honestly, and in fear, this is where I said that we ain't seen nothing yet. Because, first of all, the left is going to see this as a sign that it's all or nothing. They have this one chance to stop a fascist takeover of the United States, or else they're lost. I think that they honestly think that if Trump wins again, that they are going to be thrown into a gulag or something along those lines. And so they are going to do anything and everything, hook and crook, to stop this. To stop this nomination. Okay? And if that means waging even more violence, then that is actually what they will do. Give you an example. Laura Bassett, who is a politics writer who's been published in GQ magazine, The Washington Post, the Rolling Stone, and Cosmopolitan, she actually tweeted this: "If McConnell jams someone through, which he will, there will be riots." And then in her own reply, she said, "More, bigger riots." So in other words, if this happens, then expect violence. If you don't stop McConnell, if people like you and me, people on the right, if you don't stop McConnell, if you don't stop Trump, there will be violence. And they're perfectly willing to put that threat into action. They are perfectly willing to put that into action. So that's the first thing that we really have to keep in, not even in the back of our mind, but in the middle of our minds, in the center of our minds going forward. And the second thing is this. Let's say that Trump gets this third nominee onto the court. And let's say that he wins in November, okay? So he gets another 4 years. What do you think is going to happen when this Supreme Court starts handing down decisions? Do you think that governors like Andrew Cuomo and Gavin Newsom are going to actually say that California and New York are going to follow the Supreme Court decisions? Do you think that teacher unions will follow them? Do you think, for example, the Southern Poverty Law Center, the ACLU, Hollywood, do you think that anything that is owned and controlled by the left will actually just submit to the Supreme Court and say, well, the Supreme Court has spoken. What else can we do now, comrades? No. They will instead revolt. It won't just be resistance against Trump. It will be resistance against the Supreme Court. And therefore, it will be resistance against everything that they do not control. And then we really will be in a civil war scenario. In fact, I'm going to have this video flagged for saying this, but here it goes. Ginsburg's death might actually be the straw that breaks the camel's back, gang. It might be that we have been on a knife's edge since the end of May. This might have been it. Now, I'm not trying to say that to be a Debbie Downer. I'm not trying to say that to be a Johnny Raincloud, to be a Puddle Glum, a Marshwiggle, a blah, 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 blah. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to let you be aware of all the stakes, to try to show you what is going to happen going forward. Again, I don't like to play the prophet. I'm terrible at it, no good at it whatsoever, but I'm making an exception in this case because I want you to be as prepared as possible for the worst. And we've seen how bad things have gotten this year. So I want you to be prepared for anything, because I have a feeling, gang, based on, again, how this year has been going and everything that the left has said and done, this war over this new Supreme Court nominee, it won't just be on the blogs and in the op-ed columns and in the YouTube videos and in the podcasts. It's going to spill over into the streets, because that's where we are now. So I'm going to leave you with that, okay? Just be prepared. You don't have to start hoarding. You don't have to start building a moat around your house. You don't have to start building a nuclear bunker like Christopher Walken does in Blast from the Past. But just be aware of it so that you can be prepared to the best of your ability for whatever is going to be coming at us down the road. And with that said, gang, I am signing off for this time around. So take care, stay safe, stay free. I will see you next time. Ciao.